Hello, and welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and thank you for stopping by. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button, and also if you'd like to be notified of my tutorials as soon as I upload them, hit the bell and you will be notified. Let's get started. Someone in one of the groups that I'm in wanted this doll and she wasn't able to find it, and she could only find it like this, but she wanted just the doll, and I guess she had tried to crop out the rest of this and it didn't work. So I'm going to show you how to easily, with characters and things like this, it's easy to find them in coloring pages and then recolor them so that they look just like the image you were trying to get. So I'm just going to crop this little one out so I can take it up into another page with the coloring page so I can grab the colors that I need out of this little picture. So I went to cut out in picture, cut out of picture with the cookie cutter shape. I'll show you. I went to cut out in picture, cut out of picture, which is the first choice at the top with the cookie cutter shape. It was already defaulted on the square, so I'm just going to bring the square up around her and just resize it so that I can crop her out. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to take the check mark out of there so it'll stay on the same page, and I'm going to hit done. Now I have a blank page that I had already opened, and I'm going to bring up the coloring page, which is the exact same image. My image pros on screen, all you have to do is open up anything, close it out, and all of a sudden you could move it again. That's just a quirk in this software. It's old, but it's great software. So I'm just going to show you the little workaround so that if you are working on a project like this and that happens, you know what to do. Now I'm going to crop this one out and get all this, the rest of this junk from around it. And I'm going to that same function, cut out in picture, cut out of picture by color, but with cookie cutter shape first. And then I'm going to just crop inside of that square or rectangle and pull her out by herself. Well, she'll have a white border around her, but we can get rid of that later. And then I'm going to delete the one beneath her by going to the right panel, which is the layers panel, and I right click on the picture and hit delete. So now all I have left is this doll. I'm going to check her to see if she's sharp. She could be a little more sharp. So I'm going to go to special effects, blur or sharpen, which is the first choice in the second row. You're not seeing those sub menus because of the screen grab or screen capture I'm using. So that's why I tell you which ones I'm using so that you'll be able to find them. So that looks pretty sharp. I think that'll work out. I'm going to hit done, and then I'm going to drag up by clicking on that original picture, and it brings up a little mini menu of that page, and the little doll that I cut out earlier, I'm just going to click on that picture and drag and drop it into this picture. And you can see that it's the same doll, and I'm just bringing her up so that when I pull the sections out of here, I can use those colors to reproduce the image. So first I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture, but this time I'm going to choose by color selection, and I'm going to leave it, but since this is all black and white, I'm going to leave it on 2 so that it can pull out all of the white in the areas that I click. So I'm just going to click and pull out all of her hair. And yeah, that's all that they pulled out in her hair. Now you see it picked this part up. Don't worry about that. I can trim around that too, because this happens when there's a break somewhere in the outline. So I see the break in the outline right here. So actually I can fix that before I even go any further. And all I have to do is go to cutout and picture. So what it is, if there's a break in the outline and the white is kind of bleeding through, it will pick up all of that area. So I'm just going to go to cutout and picture, add a colored shape. I'm going to change it to black and hit done. And I'm going to shrink this down and just put it in that spot so that it won't pull it out next time. And I'm going to just save it all together. So I'm going to click on that, the big whole picture, and then I'm going to click on that piece. As you can see, it's a little box around the piece, and then it gives you a little puzzle box, and I'm going to click that puzzle box so that it joins them. Now this time when I pull out her hair, it should leave the vest by itself. So I'm going to go once again to cutout and picture, cutout of picture by color selection, and I'm going to click in those areas again of her hair, and this time we should be fine. You see how easy that was to fix. Okay, and anytime you have a leak in the area, you'll just need to do that, and you see you don't even see where it was. It blends in perfectly. So I'm going to click done and done again. And now I'm going to just drag her down so I can get the color of her hair. I'm going to click once again on the hair, and you'll see it over here in this layers area. On the top layer is the hair that I cut out. I'm going to go to paint and color effect. Thankfully this is filled with a solid color, so it makes it a lot easier. And then I'm just going to click in her hair. Just like that. And hit done. And don't worry about those little white edges. We're going to get rid of those at the end. Next, let me make this bigger so I can work on her eyes. So now I need to do her eyes. They're kind of a light brown. So I'm going to go to cutout and picture, cutout of picture by color. And don't worry about this being under her hair, because once we have all the colors we need, we're going to delete this little picture. So I'm going to go once again. Let me back out so I can show you to cutout and picture, cutout of picture by color selection. And I'm going to choose her eyes, and we have another situation here with the where the color is going to bleed, but that's easy to fix, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out by itself. So I just have her eyes, the brown area of her eyes, and I'm going to hit done. And before I go further, I'm going to go ahead and save this, so if anything happens, if the software crashes on me, I'll already have it saved. I'm going to save it as a picture format so that all my layers will still be there in case I want to go sometime and change it again to something else. So I'm just going to name it Brats, and I'm going to put it on my desktop so I can get back to it easily and hit save. I did a Windows update today, and the computer is just moving really slow for some reason, so it might trip out on me, but we're going to keep going. Okay, so now I have this little white area, and you could see it in the layers. It'll be the top layer, and I need this little area to stay white, so I'm going to go to cutout and picture, cutout of picture with the cookie cutter. I'm going to change it to a circle this time, and I'm just going to shrink it down where it's small enough to grab that area in her eye. Shrink this down a little bit, and I'm going to hit next, and without coming out, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to say add an area. I'm going to make another circle, which is the same one. I'm just dragging it over, and I'm going to flatten this one out some and make it in the shape of this white section in that eye, so that when I change the rest of it to brown, then this part will still be white. Alright, So now when I hit next, I'm going to have both these areas saved and they'll be white. So now I need to, if you'll want to see, you see I have those two pieces cut out. And I'm just going to hit the back arrow so that it'll go back in. Now I'm going to click on the outer eye, which I needed to make the beige color. And I'm going to go once again to Paint and Color Effects, fill with the solid color, which is the second choice on the second row. And I'm going to click inside the beige. I want to find the right beige that looks the best. So I'm just clicking around in here until I can get, yeah, that looks good. I like that. And you see that that inside remained white. Okay, now let's do her face. So I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture. I see a little brown here that's missing, but I can go back and get that later. So I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture once again. First I'm going to click the little diskette here to save. That tells you how old this software is. And now I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection, and we're just going to keep using that over and over again. This time we're drawing out the outer face. We're going to get all of her skin in this cut. So before I do that, let me move this picture over to the opposite side so it won't be in my way. I don't want it covering any of the skin, so I can pull it all at one time. So now I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection. And I'm just going to pull out all areas of her skin. I got her fingers and her legs. And I think that's it. Yeah. I'm going to hit Next and Done. Now I'm going to go once again to Paint and Color Effects, fill with a solid color, and pull in that beige of her face. Hit Done. Now it looks like that shirt is just a yellowish beige. I don't even think they colored in the butterfly, so I'm going to do that next. I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection, and I'm going to pull out the area around the butterfly. It looks like it's all one color actually, so I'm just going to choose all those areas. Well, I'll leave that middle section just to give it a little difference. And I'm going to hit Next and Done. And go once again to Paint and Color Effect. And you're just going to keep doing this until you have the whole picture reproduced. Hit Done. Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection. Let's do the skirt. Next and Done. Paint and Color Effects, fill with a solid color. Hit the skirt. Done. Once again, Cutout and Picture. Fill Cutout and Picture. Oops, wrong one, sorry. Once again, Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection. This little area here is a little different from the rest of the skirt. I'm going to hit Next and Done. Then I'm going to go once again to Paint and Color Effect. So I'm not going to keep saying this because now you know what it is. And I'm just going to do it so I can finish it up because I have some other things I have to be doing. Alright. Now we're getting to the bag. So I'm going to go do the same thing. Pull out all of this bag. The bags are grouping up on me. So I need to find the leak again. And looks like the leak is right here. I'm going to save my picture before I go forward. Bring this picture down so I'll have it. Go to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection. I'm going to click in that bag again. It's a leak over here somewhere too. So let's see where that one is. This one looks a little leaky all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the easy one by going to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by color selection. I'm going to pull out the easy sections. I'm going to hit Next and Done. I'm going to go ahead and color that. I go into Paint and Color Effects. Get in the color. And then I'm just going to, I can crop this out by hand by going to Cutout and Picture, Cutout of Picture by tracing on my own. and I'm just going to trace these areas out just like this. And it doesn't take long because this one looked like it might have had too many leaky areas. So I finished that little area. I'm going to say add another area to the cutout by tracing on my own. And I'm just going to keep tracing that out because that one did have a lot of leaks. And you could see it doesn't take that long even to trace them out. I have one more area, so I'm going to once again click add an area to the cutout by tracing on my own, and I'm going to go to this last section and trace it out. And everywhere you click, it ends that line and starts a fresh one, so when you need to go around curves, or if you need to do like I'm doing and just making the straight lines, every time you click it resets your cursor. Now I'm on my last one. The flag turns yellow, and now that it's yellow, if I made a mistake, went out of line anywhere, like right here, I can make adjustments. Wherever you put your cursor, it turns to pink, and then you just move the line whichever way it needs to go. That's looking pretty good there. I think I got everything good. Alright, so now when you're done making your correction, just click on that flag again, hit next or done, and now I can go ahead and change the inside color. So I'm going to zoom out so I can see it. I'm going to once again go to Paint and Color Effects, fill with a solid color, and I'm going to click on the inside of that bag, hit done. I need this beige one, cut on a picture. You know the drill by now. It's the inside of the bag. Let's see, I might be able to grab that. I'm trying to see, it might have some open areas, but we'll see right now. Ah, lucked out. So I'm going to hit next and done, and that's our last area to color. I'll just use this one and then darken it a bit so it'll show that it's the inside of the bag. That's all you do to show the depth or the different dimension of the area, because the inside of the bag is usually a little darker than the outside. Go ahead and save this. Now for the lips, you see they have this little glow in them, so I'm going to go ahead and take out the bottom one too. Hit next and done. And I'm going to start with the bottom one. So I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effect. This time I'm going to go Fill with the Gradient, which is the third choice in the second row. I'm going to choose Custom Two-Tone Gradient or Two-Color Gradient. It makes it look like that, but I need it to be, I'm going to go back one because I need to choose the way I want it to look. So I want it to look like this because that's the way that looks. Now I'm going to go to Custom Two Colors, and then I'm going to choose the colors I want. So the outer lip is kind of this reddish brown, and I'm going to brighten it up a little bit because, like I said, I'm picking up some of the gray colors of the fact that this is not a sharp picture. And now I'm going to click on this bottom one, and I'm going to go in the middle of her lips, and you see it gives it that shimmer. I need to darken the outer lip again, so I'm going to move up a little bit. I'm going to say done, then I'm going to go back to that top one and darken it some. And that actually looks pretty good. Just like that. I'm going to lighten the second one a little bit. Okay, so now we gave her kind of that glow on her lips. Now we need to do the top one. The top one doesn't really, I can't really see it too well, but I'm going to go with the gradient again. I'm going to change it to that circle gradient. Go to custom two-tone color. Click on the top one, and I'm going to click on the outside of the lip again. Hit done. Then I'm click the bottom one. Click on the. It's kind of dark still, so I'm just going to go with a little lighter, but not as light. And I think that looks good. I think I need to darken the outer a little bit more. So I'm going to go to the darkest area of the dark. And I think that works. I can play around with some of these shapes like this one to make it look, try to see if I can make it look even more like the top lip here. I think that one does it a little bit more. Let's see. That one might work the best. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit done and zoom out. And now you have remade this picture. I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by color selection. And this time I'm just going to take out the outer edge. I'm going to drop it down to 1 because I don't want to get any shades that I don't really want. And now this will take out the background, and it will make this image into, I can make this image into a PNG, so that if the lady in the group wants to take this into Cricut and cut it out, then she can do that easily. So I'm just choosing all the white areas. I could have taken out all those white areas at once, but the reason why I didn't is because it would have also pulled the areas out of her eyes. So now that I've chosen all the white areas that I want to cut, I'm going to choose next, and whatever I'm keeping will be bold. So right now, if I hit next and done, I would keep the white edge, but I want to switch it so that I'm keeping her. So I'm going to click select opposite area, and then she will become bold, which means I'm keeping her. And I'm going to hit next and done. And now I'm going to delete all this stuff underneath her. So I'm just going to move my top cutout. She's the top cutout. I'm going to move her to the side. And then I'm just going to drag from the top to the bottom and delete everything underneath. And I'm going to move her back over. Now you can see it still has the outline of the box. And I don't want that, because if I put a shadow around it, if I wanted to add a shadow, sometimes it still adds a shadow around. Yeah, you see how it puts a little shadow around the edge of the box that used to be there. So I'm going to reset that, and I'm just going to do a final cutout just around her by going to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by tracing on my own. And I'm just going to just drag this around, making sure that I'm staying well away from those edges where the box square was. Just like that. Hit done and done. And I'm going to get rid of that bottom layer. So all I'm left with is the girl. This image, this one is not a good image. It's not high res. But by using a coloring page, now we have a high resolution copy of this little doll. If you found this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you want to be notified the minute I have a new video tutorials, just hit the bell and you'll be notified. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.